the biggest problem is not losing your job to AI, but losing your job to someone who is using AI better than you.
Two senior HR leaders, Neha Verma and Manthan Dharamshi, welcome to Beyond the Spotlight. What is the employee feedback when it comes to AI and the tools?
So the employees look at two things. Number one, they look for transparency. And what they do not want is secrecy.
What are the pillars of HR?
The most important pillar would be talent acquisition.
HR itself is a pillar to everything.
Rapid fire. What is one thing AI will never be able to replace in the workplace?
Empathy,
The human touch.
What mindset and values are timeless, even as tools change?
acceptance and open mindset. Accept what is coming your way. Rather than fearing, you don't know what is after AI. So be prepared for the worst and be prepared for the best.
Some real life examples of AI in your organization.
We implemented a new ATS. We tried testing it. The CEO, the CHRO, and the VP, 4 of our resumes were rejected because
What is the future of AI in HR?
The worst has already begun. If you don't shake hands with AI, then you don't sustain. So you have to learn AI as fast as possible.
What is scarier, AI bias in hiring or HR teams trusting AI too much?
I think both are tricky. You cannot trust AI blindfolded. I would love to take the decisions on my own rather than letting AI drive the car for me.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Spotlight. Today, we are exploring how AI is not just changing technology, but transforming how we hire, engage, and retain talent. In this episode, we continue our conversation to try and understand the role of AI in the future of HR and the workplace. My name is Vandana Arvind, an entrepreneur, homemaker, Kathak dancer, and an independent consultant with a passion for creating meaningful conversations. I specialize in organizing roundtable discussions and conversations like the one we are about to experience, where diverse perspectives come together to challenge assumptions and spark new ideas. Joining us today to understand the role of AI in HR, we are with two senior HR leaders driving this shift in their organization. We have with us Neha Verma, the AGM HR of Aries Technology, and Manthan Dharamshi, the Associate Director, Professional Services of New Vision Software. Welcome to Beyond the Spotlight.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Let's start our conversation with understanding what is the HR structure in your organization. Manthan, would you like to start?
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, again, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Talking about the HR structure in my organization, so it is in different companies, there are different structures, especially, if it is more of a strategic view, the HR ideally reports directly to the CEO so that they can have that strategic view. Whereas, when it comes to the operational efficiency, scaling up and all, the HR reports to a COO. So talking about my organization, the HR as a function is reporting to the COO because we are looking at, scaling up and going to the next level. That's how it is. Of course, given that HR reports to CEO or COO, they definitely have a chair at the executive table, and that helps them, support the strategic decisions of the companies as well.
So while Manthan spoke about HR reporting to CEO, we have HR reporting to CEO to align the strategic and business growth that from that standpoint. And the finance COO works alongside with HR to manage the cost and efficiency and operational efficiency and budgeting towards the manpower and the related cost. So while reporting of both is aligned to CEO, and there are center of excellences across HR functions like talent acquisition, then learning and development, and onboarding.
Okay. So according to you, what are the pillars of HR when it comes to any organization in general?
I think the most important pillar for any HR function would be starting with, and the priority would be, number one would be talent acquisition, right? Because it all matters what type of people you get in. And I'm definitely sure Neha would agree to that, because it all, great team starts with, getting great hires. In few, I see that in few organizations, talent acquisition is a very undermined function. Not valued at much. Their decisions are not taken into place. But now that view is changing. People are realizing that to build up strong organizations, you need strong leaders, and to get strong leaders, you need to value your talent acquisition team. So number one is talent acquisition team. Number two, I would say employee engagement, or you can say the onboarding experience that you have with the team. That you give for the candidate when they come in, because employee giving that experience is like they say, first impression always matters a lot. That's how it is. Then there would be other functions like comp and ben is there. Then you have L&D, where you upskill your people or maybe reskill them if required. So for me, these are the four important pillars for any HR organization.
So number one is talent acquisition is something you have to manage all throughout your HR career with them. So I think that's the most important function for you. Neha, what do you have to say?
While I agree, Manthan, 50%, but I would say HR itself is a pillar to everything. And within that, if you ask me, every function, different organizations have different ways to look at it, right? So may not be always hiring, but it is retention, which is equally important. So I feel the business partnering, human touch, right? It is entire human resource function. Start from talent acquisitions to onboarding to employee experiences, then dwelling into the employee life cycle, and then ensuring smooth exit. So if you ask me to name a few, it will be biased and injustice to, because I had 4 verticals within the HR space. So my 4 verticals are my 4 strong pillars, while partnering is something separate. So just to add, I had compensation and benefits, I had HR operations, I had compliances within the HR and in the employee life cycle entirely.
Wow.
So it all covers. And business partnering, we have set a dedicated team so that with all of this, they have still a dedicated partner to reach out. So they have a human interface. So that's my view.
Nice. So with the AI coming in, what is the role your organization is playing, or how is it embracing AI, and what is the strategy that is being followed in your organization with regards to AI?
So one of the strategies that we are currently working on, we are planning to implement AI into, flagging off the early attrition, the early signs of disengagement. We are trying to implement an in-house tool where we see these signs of early disengagement. Like for example, yesterday I got an email from the HR team saying that hey, XYZ is your team member. Earlier he used to repeatedly, consistently be in the office and be on all the Teams call, but now we see a 40% drop on the Teams call. So that's the internal tool that we are building. We are still awaiting all the data and analytics around it. Once it is successful, we will then put it across to the market, because like she voiced out, not only hiring but retaining your people is also primarily important, because if your hiring funnel is this big and if your people leaving the organizations again bigger funnel than that, it doesn't make any sense. So we are focusing on those early attrition signs and how we can fix them before it goes to the worst phase. So that's one of the strategy that we are already working on.
Wow. So if coming back to your answer where you said that, you're able to understand if the employee is not looking forward to the job anymore because the person is getting engaged in other activities.
Correct.
And this data, you're getting it via AI.
Yes, with the help
so
of
AI
AI.
is actually monitoring the employee.
Yes.
So do you think this will help, an employee stay in the job, or will it harm the organization in the longer run? What I was thinking.
Yeah. So there's a very thin line between monitoring and surveillance, right? Till the time we are monitoring all these signs, I don't think any human would have a problem. But the moment you start surveilling them, you start seeing them, hey, I see you're not on your desk. I cannot see it in the CCTV footage or anything like that. That's the dangerous part. Right now we have consciously restricted only to monitoring the disengagement part, and not what time you come in the office, what time you go out, how much time you spend on your break and all. Here we are more majorly focused, and not only us, any organization, I think they should be majorly focused on the outcome rather than how much time you spend in the office and how many tasks you do.
True, definitely makes sense. Neha, what do you have to say of AI in your organization?
So we've already implemented AI in recruitment, onboarding, and couple of functions. we are the strategy is empowering employees and help them move away with the mundane task or administrative task, because we are a customer centric organization and most of our people who are customer facing are expected to reply to the emails. So that's where Copilot and other things help them frame. We have given the training to the employees on how to give the prompts, appropriate prompts to give the appropriate responses. So that's one. And like Manthan said, it's not about monitoring and surveillance. We are still remote. Like people come once in a month to office. So we don't want to monitor them. Having said this, we want to definitely empower them with the AI tools. And the worst is already begun. If you don't know AI or you're running away from AI, then you no longer sustain in the job. So you have to take along with it and walk along the path.
Embrace AI and unlearn, learn, and grow with it.
Relearn.
I think that's how you get your productivity at your level and at organization level, right?
And just to add more fuel to what she said, people need to understand nowadays that AI will not replace your job. AI will work as your co-worker, right? That's the motherly statement that I would like to give. That AI is not replacing you. AI is just replacing your repetitive, your mundane task, your operational task. And it's you see AI as your co-worker, your life is easy. You see AI as a threat, then there's a problem. And then the biggest problem is, not losing your job to AI, but losing your job to someone who knows, who is using AI better than you. So that's the biggest risk.
True, makes sense. Yeah, I think AI is here to stay. We should know that.
Absolutely.
And we have to go with it. We don't have a choice.
Or in
Great.
layman language, if you can also say, AI is a personal assistant given to me to free up my space.
Give
So
you more
how-
time for yourself
Correct.
and, make you more happy in the organization. And that's how I think you stay in the organization also.
It will help you save time, give you work-life balance, right? Some of the like communications, HR is more of communication also. One-on-one communication is different, but email communication. 50% of your time goes in filtering out those emails and responding. So
I
some of
agree.
these things you treat as a personal secretary that you are empowered.
True.
Otherwise, you may not have got. You have to sit and type your own emails.
Makes your work much and life easier in a lot of ways. Makes sense. Coming to your AI strategy. Now, in specific to HR, are there any tools that are implemented in your organization with regards to AI in HR?
We have already implemented recruitments.
Okay.
ATS tools are there. So CVs come filtered with the AI. Then L&D also, we have a lot of things like people after the performance evaluation, once the manager adds the IDP and everything, it will filter out the learning needs of the employees. And then we have platforms like LinkedIn Learning and so on to leverage on them. So some of these things are already in place, and while some of these things are work in progress.
How much of your AI is for external customer and how much is it for employee focused?
So more or less 50-50. Some places more. Like if you ask me HR is 60-40 because again, it is to deal with employee and HR can be human. Like I said, AI cannot have the empathy or human aspect to it. From employee standpoint, it is 50-50. It is for their own experience and customer experience. So they use externally more to figure out the data analytics, statistics and reporting and then presenting again. So that's where the AI has been very helpful for them.
So I have a slightly elongated answer here. It depends on the size of the organization. For example, if your organization is growing, and in an ideal situation, 70% of your AI should be spent on the external part of it, because if you help your customers with AI solving their problems, you will get revenue. The moment you start getting revenue, you will hire more people. So 30% at this particular time is on my internal employee. But the moment I scale up, I start getting more revenue, I am increasing my employee base, then that 70% can be brought down to 60%, and this 30% can be increased to 40%, because now you have people, you have to enhance their productivity, you have to give them leverage, you have to give them that assistant so that their mundane work can be done. So I think initially, if an organization is scaling up, for me, it should be a 70% spending on the external part of it, and 30%. And once you grow up, once you scale up, once you reach your goal, and then you're going to the next level, you have your employee base, then focus more on the internal employees also, because they also need to scale up, because if they are scaled up, your output will again be increased.
I have Neha, one more angle to it. Now, if we look at AI, where 70% of it for the internal employees, where earlier they were focusing maybe on 10 or 15 customers. With the AI coming in, they are able to get in more customers because they have more time and an assistant who's helping them work more productively, where they're able to serve more customers. So maybe AI could also help internal customers to increase the customer base, and obviously it ends up in the productivity of the organization.
So absolutely to your point, where you're coming from is from client centric, or say from in-house sales or inside sales or outside sales, right? So it will also depend on which function or which organization you are working for, like HR, accounts, sales, pre-sales, right? PMO. So different functions will leverage differently. So we cannot have a defined metrics like 70-30, 50-50. It may vary from person to person. It may vary from role to role. It may vary from organization to organization.
True. And the job that is assigned, if you are looking at more of customer base,
Job level, too many
level,
things will
all
come up
these
into the
things.
play.
True. Moving ahead with further application of AI in HR. So, what are the most promising application of AI you're seeing in HR today?
So starting with my forte, talent acquisition, uh, various applications have been introduced, rightly starting with an ATS, normally, layman's term, application tracking system, wherein you can screen the resume. If you just input, the keywords that is been given to you by the hiring manager, your filtering process becomes easy. The second thing that has been introduced into the recruitment fraternity is the interview scheduling. Now there are ATS that, if you tell them that this particular candidate is selected, they will automatically, there'll be a bot that will be calling out the candidate that, this is the particular time frame that your interview is scheduled. If yes, okay, I'm sending you an email. So then automated email also goes. And 1 hour before your interview, that bot will again call up the candidate. Hey, you have an interview coming up in the next 1 hour. So these are the two most important things that are done in the recruitment fraternity, and that has freed up almost 30% of the bandwidth of my recruiters. So nowadays, I proudly say that whatever recruiters that I've worked with, they have become talent strategists, because because of that free time that they have, they spend more of their time into sourcing, looking at the
Different
profiles and all.
options
Yes.
and what are the other sources of hiring people and
Yes, exactly. So they spend most of their time along with me into the strategy part, 2 cents from each of my recruiter, and that's how the entire strategy is being built upon.
wow, that's
And
nice.
also talking about the larger HR fraternity, I think the onboarding experience nowadays, there are so many chatbots, that they have just put in all the FAQs and a chatbot to answer your question as to when anybody joins in any organization, half of us, don't feel like asking when will the salary be credited? Is it the last working day? So there's a chatbot available. You chat when the salary be credited. Is it the 30th of the month or the 1st of the month, whatever it is. So that is being, used. Or be AI is leveraged there. Then also talking about on the documentation process, that is also been done with the help of AI nowadays. An AI bot, the moment my profile is marked as selected, I will receive a link by the chat bot that, hey, this is the list of documents that are required in this particular company. That becomes the documentation. Talking about the background verification, that is also been done with the help of AI now. Of course, a human intervention is required for certain critical cases, but 75 to 80% of the background verification is also being done with the help of AI now.
How do you manage the bias in this? Is there no bias when it comes to these verifications? And
so that's when I said that there are cases. So 80% of it, or almost of would be background verification green cases wherein everything is in place. Few flags, that's when the human intervention comes in. That's when people have we do have BGV background verification, people visiting certain employees' house just to verify, because we did see 7 addresses in the last 1 year for that particular employee. So that's when a human intervention is needed. Of course, nothing can beat human intervention. Even if now we are talking about agentic AI, even if we were to talk about 10x AI from 20 years right now, nothing can beat that human intervention. So that's how it has been benefited.
true. Neha, what do you have to say on this?
So if you are looking for a query at 10 or 12 in the midnight, you work in the second shift, that okay, how do I apply my leaves, or how many leaves I have, or where is the place to go and find out my pay slip or the insurance card and everything, and you get an answer. What more you expect, right? That somebody is answering you even in the midnight or half of the night. So that's where the bot has been very helpful, because we work 24/7 support. So I know for the fact, like most of the calls that I get over weekend is for, I don't find my insurance card, I have an emergency. So that's where bot really is helping people. And this again, employee experience is increasing. The satisfaction levels, like employee sat surveys, the scores are also increasing. So talent acquisition, definitely Manthan covered most of it, onboarding experience, background verification and all of it. But this is the place I feel that you feel blessed, like okay, somebody is there to answer you all the time, at least with the basic requirements.
Makes sense. Actually, you don't have to wait for a HR to come next morning at 9:30 and answer all the queries. Instead, you have somebody then and there to help you solve the problem and go ahead with the things that you want to move on with, than just, sitting and waiting for 10 days, 15 days for the approvals and things like that. So definitely, I think AI has made your life much more easier, if not anything. What is the employee feedback when it comes to, all these areas that are being implemented with AI and the tools? So what does the employee feel?
So again, it's a top-down communication, how you communicate and how you train your employees to use the bots. The more the communication, the better the experience. And then again, checking the pulse, taking the pulse check, like how friendly you're finding, are you getting the adequate answers, what more to be added. So that definitely helps. And so far, whatever I have experienced, if the communication is right, the experience is definitely enhanced.
So do they fear AI coming into their life or in the workplace, or do they hate it?
So the employees basically will look at two things in my perspective, and I've had first-hand experiences in this particular area. Number one, they look for transparency. When you're talking about implementing AI, they need all the employees in any organization. They need transparency as to give us clear steps. How will this be implemented? And number two, what they do not want is secrecy. Right. So two sides of the same coin. If you're transparent, you cannot be
secretive.
secret. Yeah. So these are the two things, and employees nowadays love it when they are, like she said, their midnight queries are answered on the go, rather than waiting for the next day for the HR to come in, open the laptop, start and then start replying and all. So I believe employee satisfaction with regards to all these FAQs, how I term it, FAQ questions being answered has increased by almost 85% because their basics are being answered on the go.
And the work of the HR has actually been taken over by AI to a large extent when it comes to all these FAQs that are being answered by AI now.
Correct, because humans, if, for example, in my organization, there were close to, 700 people. So of these 700, even if 100 people have questions regarding, when will the salary be accredited? So as a human, I will literally be fed up answering the same question.
Again
of
and
course,
again
it is to different people, but answering the same question. I would actually, write something on the board and put it outside my cabin that, okay, your salary will be credited on the last day of the month and all. But an AI can, do that repetitive task. So definitely it's a very
Without getting frustrated.
So that's a very win-win situation for HR.
And without getting any emotional bias.
Exactly.
Because end of the day, HR will say, yaar, ek hi question, how many times I am supposed to answer? Can't you talk to yourself and figure it out? It does happen within the team, same group of people will come and ask one by one, as if the answer is going to change for every person.
True, very true. I think AI is come to our rescue at the time when we want it the most, especially with all these tasks that are so repetitive, and you feel sometimes, what are you doing? Or are you looking at, a transactional job where your just role is to interact with employees and answer same queries. And actually today HR has become more like a business partner, where, these tasks are given to AI and we are looking at something which is more at a strategic level.
Absolutely.
Would you like to share some real-life examples of AI in your organization, application of AI in your organization?
Yeah, so I have a very classic example here. This is, one example is specific to recruitment, okay? So in one of my previous organizations, when we implemented a new ATS, application tracking system, we tried testing it ourselves among all the leaders also. So even our CEO applied to it, I applied to it, my CHRO applied. We just shared our resume without having all the keywords that were there for that particular job description. And the irony was the CEO, the CHRO, and the VP, 4 of our resumes were rejected, right? Because those keywords were missing there, right? So this is one of the classic example when it comes to recruitment. When it comes to, again, the HR practice of it, again, the onboarding experience. I have also had first-hand experience when it comes to, the onboarding experience was, being leveraged to AI. So there's actually, a bot who will give you a welcome call, and you talk to the bot. There's a human face put across to it, and that's how they make it very engaging. They will ask you about your favorite celebrities and all, and suddenly, so my favorite star is Shah Rukh Khan. So suddenly that AI bot's face would change into Shah Rukh Khan, and they would try to mimic Shah Rukh Khan's voice, and that's how your onboarding experience is. So different experiences. So these are 2 of the first-hand experience that I've got.
I think only thing missing is having coffee with the bot now.
That
is also
definitely that would be very soon on the cards, mostly by say 2030, because humanoids are already into production. So very soon we'll be having, of course, humans will be having coffee, and a humanoid will be plugged into the battery point. That's the coffee for them. So that's how I see it.
Neha, would you like to share anything about your organization with regards to AI tool being implemented?
So in my recent experiences, we were doing the testing of the performance management tool and trying to identify. So what we were trying to do is not the identifying the gaps with the particular position and the skill gap we were trying to identify. And it so happened that at this leadership level only, it said that these skills are not matching with the positions. So we were trying to figure out now how to give the prompts to the bot so that it identifies, because what happens, the job description, if you use a CFO and the CV may not match. Like we work for a PE firms, right? So the bot will not understand that you work for a PE firm and the PE relevant experience is required. So that's how the CVs also got, the skills did not match it. So that was the most funniest thing. It's still work in progress. Like I said, we have couple of stages. So we are into the performance, the skill mapping. So we want to have a skill metrics prepared according to what the organization is, where we want to grow up the organization. We just got listed NASDAQ a year and a half ago. So that's where we are trying to scale up on these lines as well.
True.
But that we are still figuring out how to give the prompt to the bot so that it doesn't say that your skills are not matching to the profile that you're working.
You need to feed in the correct data. So normally what happens, with all these prompts, we normally feed in with regards to either the job description or the skill set. But if we also give them a prompt that look at the designation of the person who's applying, right? So if that is also done, I think, AI would again do a better job.
Better job.
Yeah.
And better results. True. And they are pretty good at learning.
Yeah, they're very fast also.
We have to be actually in competition with them and learn and understand
and they'll
things.
say you are rejected with a lightning speed. And we will be still figuring out why did they reject us.
And the best part is AI does not even take coffee breaks. So
Exactly.
you don't have a competition with them. Okay, so can you share one powerful AI use case that surprised you?
So we did the ESAT survey with the help of AI. And to surprise, we came to know that the food quality, what people have rated, is not that great. So this was the AI coming feedback. So we thought and then we had an insurance renewal also during that time. And we realized that the number of insurance claims were pertaining to indigestion and those were things. So we were trying to rate whether it is the food that caused this insurance claim hit or whether it is insurance claim is hitting because of the food quality. So we need to change the food vendor or we need to change the insurance vendor. So we were figuring out during the insurance renewals. This was a surprise element that came us.
Into you. That's
we
a
never
nice
thought, because technically we analyze the claim ratio by how many maternity claims, how many heart claims, cardiac claims, and so on and so forth, so that we know that employee health is at what stake. And this came to us as a surprise that, okay, stomach upset and stomach infection, people are getting hospitalized for.
That's a good example.
I just shared a while ago the latest use cases. With the help of AI, I getting to understand from my HR partner that, hey, your team member, we saw 40% less disengagement. He's not attending your calls. He's not coming to office regularly. That is the latest use case that I have. I think that would definitely help, if we are able to implement it. And I do hear that there are a few companies in the market who are definitely working on this part, because like we say, retention is a very critical part nowadays, right? So with the help of AI, if we get, all these early signs of disengagement, we can definitely fix that problem.
I think AI is going to help you in
Yeah,
all
at least
these
we can get all
analysis.
the data analysis from AI. Yeah.
True. Great. So moving on to our next section, let's deep dive into what are the business impact and risk of AI in HR. So do you think AI can actually boost retention, or will employees quit if a bot approves their personal time off?
Of course, nobody would like a bot to approve, my leaves and my personal time off. I would always want, at least someone to ask me, ki, hey, what's the plan? You're going away for say 15 days, or suddenly, if I'm applying for leave on Monday, on Sunday night, I would definitely, want someone to know that there's an emergency. A bot wouldn't understand, because it doesn't have that, emotion fed into it. So I wouldn't mind, and there would be a very big business impact if we are going to this level, because then the trust factor would be into question. And once there's the trust factor starts falling down, the T would go off, and all that would remain is rust. So that's how I see it.
So what happens? I have this question, and I have faced this also problem where I don't have an option but to reply to bot and to get answer from the bot. Then you don't have a choice. So what do you do in that case?
That's where we can have that human intervention. That, for example, if someone is talking to bots, for a particular bot on a particular instance, say for the last 5 minutes, and still the person doesn't have that answer, what he or she is looking for. The next level should be the bot should quickly understand that, okay, let me get someone, a human to talk to you, or maybe to chat with you. So I think that is where we can make that change, because if it was to only talking to a chatbot for the last 30 minutes and I'm still waiting for an answer,
not coming to any conclusion. So
yeah, correct.
Definitely. What do you have to say, Neha, on this?
India is such a geography that people would want to express their emotions, right? How much ever a bot will answer, you would still feel that if you are not satisfied with the services, you would want to shout at somebody, or you want to show that I'm not happy, right? And you cannot express this to a bot. So that's where that the angle comes into play. And again, to your point, how people will feel on that part. If the PTO is getting approved, I'm happy that I don't have to give any explanation, anything. My PTO is approved, I can quickly escape. But what if the PTO gets rejected? You are hurt, right? And how people in India will feel like, it's not about India also, sometimes in other geographies also, like sentiments get hurt. How can a bot reject my leaves?
And
right?
this is
Without
not
even
fair.
knowing what is the reason.
True.
Right? And he's not even ready to listen to the reason. Like you said, you don't have a choice, but I have to answer to the bot.
With that emotional intelligence that humans, we humans come with, there are chances that I might convince or a human might convince a human boss to get the leaves approved, even if the boss is not in favor of it, as compared to a bot. For a bot, it is either a yes or a no. There's nothing, okay, you come for half day and you go. A bot will never tell you that. It's only the humans that can tell you that.
The only human can handle human.
Exactly.
I think AI is here to help us and make right decisions to an extent. So let's see how the future goes.
Good or bad, right? Again, people may feel good for approving PTPO. People may not feel good for approving PTO. Human, again, but it depends on how the organization wants the bot to take it to the next level.
See, humans would be happy till the time that bot also approves their PTO.
Correct.
The moment, even if it is a genuine or a non-genuine case, if it is rejected, the next thing that employee is going to do is pick up the call and blabber at the boss that your bot is pathetic. I have a serious situation and my leave is not being approved. So it's going to happen.
True. Such cases are, I think, very much possible. So going to the next question, what is scarier? AI bias in hiring, or HR teams using or trusting AI too much?
I think both are tricky. You cannot trust AI, blindfolded. You need to have that conscious decision, what you are trusting AI with. Plus, you would need to back it with your own conscience. I would never do that. I can only leverage AI with the amount of data insights that it would give me. But end of the day, I would love to take the decisions on my own rather than letting AI drive the car for me.
Very true. Actually, yeah, because in a way, we don't know how the bias may come in. Again, depending on a lot of factors of hiring, your traditional ways, and how things have been moving in your organization. So I think maybe monitoring of an AI is also important from time to time, given the aspect that things are changing at a very fast pace.
Again, prompts are given by humans. So human bias will always be there, whether you agree or disagree, right? When you meet a person, right? AI will not judge you a person like from the face value or from the appearance of the person, but humans will judge, right? So that some subconscious bias will somewhere be there to some extent, is my viewpoint. But yeah, data driven analytics, you have to trust AI because again, you have given that prompts to AI. You have engineered that AI to help you with the correct, accurate, most accurate statistics. So that's where I feel, so some of when statistics come into play, AI will not be biased. And again, you will have to drive the data from that reports that come out of the AI. And when it comes to hiring and all of it, I feel whether you agree or disagree, human bias always will remain to some extent because we are humans. And that, like the moment person walks in, from that time we start judging the person, whether the person will be selected, not selected. The person will talk about it later. You will evaluate it later. But that's thinking starts from that standpoint itself. So that biasness will continue to remain. That's my again perspective.
Very true. Actually, talking about humans, I think that's how our mentality is. Unlike bots,
We are programmed like that. Like how the bot is programmed, even humans are programmed in a certain fashion. And you cannot change it overnight. That how much ever you say don't judge the book by a cover, but we still do that. How much ever we feed in our mind that we have to read the book before judging it. But we still read the preface introduction and that's where we judge everything.
That's where we buy the book.
Correct. Or some reviews. If your friend is saying it's good, then only we'll buy the book.
True. I would like you to share a story of maybe the most funniest or shocking AI in HR story that you have heard or you have encountered anytime.
The most, I would say, shocking for me is, AI writing inspirational quotes for you. I mean, come on, inspirational quotes should always be for a human. That's my standpoint. How could a bot write an inspirational quote for me? So, that's very shocking. Of course, there are bots who do that and they are good at it, but
Manthan, by any chance, did you tell bot that you're depressed?
So I did that because what I learned when I started using bot, it reads the algorithms, right? It tracks your Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything wherever you are. And I used to wonder that I am giving the same prompt in one bot and other prompt without logging in other bot. But both are giving me different answers. And I asked him, can you let me know what is my mental health today? And one is saying it's very good, you have an awesome day. How do you know I have an awesome day? And the other one is saying you need to do some meditation and all of it. So I was trying to figure out. So that was my funniest and craziest experience with bot. And I keep doing it when I want to just have my pep talks or something. When I'm feeling low, I ask these tricky questions to bot. And give me a pep talk. How is my day today? How do you find my day future? And just
That's
like that.
interesting. Nice.
There's another thing I did try with ChatGPT. And so I saw it on the internet and I tried with ChatGPT. So here's what I tried. I asked ChatGPT, how much is 4 plus 4? The prompt was 8. I said, no, it's 9. The prompt was again, no, 4 plus 4 is 8. I said, no, but my wife says it's 9. Oh, I'm sorry. What your wife is saying is correct. So, these are the prompts. So, of course, they rectified it. But then, slowly and gradually that emotional essence is also getting into AI nowadays.
I think what Neha also said, I'm coming back to that and what you said, how AI is programmed to answer these questions based on the data that is fed in. When she logs in, it's a different program that is addressing you. And then when you don't log in, it's a different program where, at a very superficial level, it's just answering based on, again, what I have been fed into that data, AI and
Generic,
things like
yeah.
that. Yeah. Great. That's a very good insight. Cost saving versus ethical risk. Where is the line?
I think the line should be drawn at ethical. Because if any organization, or for me, if any human being draws the line at ethics, that this is against my ethics, though even if it doesn't matter to me, if I'm incurring some cost to it, but I would stand by my ethics, I would stand by my principles. I think that company or that individual would go in the longer run, as compared to when you're focusing only on the revenue part of it.
Definitely. It makes sense. Very nice.
Definitely comes into first, but cost saving along with ethics is a cherry on the cake. So again, you have to figure out how much ethical the data is on the cost saving piece, but definitely it is worth checking it out.
So we say that AI is sometimes a superpower, or sometimes it's a curse of interpretation. AI predict who is quitting before even they know. What do you have to say?
That is very true. Again, early signs of disengagement. That's we are getting all sorts of data when we are leveraging AI. But at the end of it, it's the human judgment that will play a crucial role, regardless of n number of data that's available with me. Because just quoting an example, if a person has headed a particular function, or maybe has headed a company for say 10 years, and that person has seen a downfall of that company and again brought it back to pace. Okay, the data that would be given by AI is only okay, the revenue went down, the revenue went up, okay, this person is okay. But at the same time, the human judgment, how it comes into play is, okay, this person has seen the higher side, has seen the fall of the company, but did not give up, right? And again took the company from rags to riches. So that's that kind of candidate anybody would love to hire. That's when the human judgment comes in. That judgment an AI will never be able to give.
True, very true. What do you have to say, Neha?
At times, it is preventive rather than being judgmental. So AI can give you a disengagement, but disengagement has various reasons. It may not be just looking out for a job or something. There must be something in the personal life. There must be something with your own health, mental health, physical health, something that is not helping you engage, right? Again, if you often talk about midlife crisis, people say, right, there would be different level of engagement when you were early start of the career, and there would be different level at a midlife, right?
True.
So we really cannot say that AI has given a disengagement, so it could be a disengagement. Here I would say I would not rely on AI statistics. I would take that statistics and see how best I can utilize, whether by talking to the person or talking to the manager and getting deeper into what is in the mind of the person, what is really not helping him engage more the way it is expected from the organization standpoint. So again, a proactive approach to help employees enable or enhance or motivate or get them up to speed.
Definitely, it's a very good
So
way of.
rather than attention, I would focus on retention to those disengagements. That how best I can figure out, because some of them would be old employees. Disengagement starts not at the early once the employee joins in 6 months. It starts after 9 months to 1 year. When they see that, okay, now I've seen one cycle, when there is appraisal time, that's where disengagement also starts. So understanding their mindset, and I would use the statistics for retention, not to plan the attrition or backup.
That's nice. Great. So, who is AI accountable to? Actually, can you hold AI accountable?
In fact, rather than holding AI accountable, I think we as people, we as HR leaders or business leaders, we should be, we are more accountable towards it. Because AI, all it works on is prompt. What data we feed in as people, we feed in as leaders, we'll get the outcome. So what input is given to AI, the onus lies with us, the people. So I think we should be more accountable towards it.
So to answer you, AI cannot be held accountable because it's driven by humans. So humans are accountable for
Yes.
whatever AI is doing.
But only thing is, AI is learning from whatever data is fed in. So it's able to actually give you a summary of whatever is there in a way that even humans are a little bit not coming to that kind of a conclusion. So I think that way, yes, AI is much ahead of in terms of learning and the way it's programmed. It again depends on that factor also.
Absolutely. Again, which human has programmed what AI depends on that. So that human is accountable for giving that outcome
Giving that
and
outcome
conclusion.
too. True. Great. This is one question that I have for our viewers. Have you ever lied on your resume? Do you think AI can catch that? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. So, moving ahead with the next section, that is my favorite, rapid fire. I would expect you to answer as quickly as possible, and that will also capture your first reaction. Yeah. So, Manthan, if AI wrote your autobiography, what would the title be?
404, sleep not found. Normally, when you're trying to open a page, it says, page not found. So error 404, sleep not found, because of hell lot of data that's going on. So that would be the title of my autobiography.
Okay. Neha,
Same question.
same question.
My journey from manual to automation to getting friendly with AI.
Wow, that's nice. If Clippy was brought back as an AI powered HR assistant, what advice would it give job seekers?
Definitely somebody is looking out for a job when we're talking about Clippy. So the advice would be, I think your last, and if you're still open for relocation, that is what your last prompt says. So can you please update it? Are you still open for relocation, maybe to a different planet, because Earth is very overcrowded now?
Probably for me, it will be you are reapplying for the 10th time and still you have not updated your CV. So please go and check and do the Control+C to update the resume.
That's nice one. What is one thing AI will never be able to replace in the workplace?
Empathy.
The human touch.
Very true. If AI had a sense of humor, what kind of jokes would it tell?
Mostly it would give you, dad jokes. Just to quote an example, AI, why did a particular a chatbot got promoted? Because the chatbot was overqualified for doing a small talk. So mostly dad jokes.
Nice.
Mostly agreed. So it will be jokes with data-driven statistics because this number of person as this, and that's why this XYZ. So it will be giving you the data-driven jokes, which will be sad and boring.
Nice. So, what's the most bizarre AI powered invention you have come across?
Like I said, inspirational quotes. The machine writing an inspirational quote for me. I said, hey, come on, give me a break. You are not even a human.
Neha, what about you?
I'm still figuring it out because it can give you anything weird which you cannot even expect. So it might tell you someday that take a coffee break. You need one.
How long before AI starts demanding benefits and vacation days?
The moment AI understands that, working 24/7 is not a good sign of work-life balance, AI will, raise your hands, boss, I'm not working 24/7.
The moment it will understand that it's like a mango that you squeeze the moment, that time it will ask for benefits. How much you will squeeze the pot?
Again, that depends on how it's programmed. Like you said, Neha. Okay, so let's go to understand what is the future of AI in HR and how is it impacting the workforce and HR roles. So, according to you, how is AI redefining the role of HR leaders today?
So from a traditional approach, where HR as a domain was always seen, admin work, operational work. From there to the journey now with the help of AI coming into, the ATS with recruitment, the screening, the interview scheduling, onboarding experience, आपका documentation हो गया, learning and development के, you provide them with options upfrontly with the help of AI. HR as a domain has moved into a more strategic role, and now HR also, like I said, HR also has a seat at the executive table, in the board of any organization because of moving from that admin-based role to a strategic approach. Of course, all thanks to AI. Like she said, we have got a personal assistant now in the entire HR domain.
So if you would agree, we are the generation who's seen like personal management. If you know, early back, 2 decades back, we started everything was manual. Even the attendance tracking, you had to come and sign a muster. So from that to automation and to AI. So the one who has seen this manual journey will see AI as a blessing. because they had seen those registers and made the entries of how many people have to pay for how many days. And now with AI, their work is much more streamlined, and that part AI is taking care of. So I think AI is blessing, for at least if I see from compare from that point of view. The generation who's starting with AI will have a different perspective to it. But definitely, again, like I said, the worst has already begun. If you don't make they shake hands with AI, then you don't sustain. So you have to learn AI as fast as possible.
Definitely. In fact, when we study at our college, we study all the strategies and all the, business, how we can use HR to increase business, and what are the different strategies used in HR in terms of policy making and things like that. But when we start working, like you said, it's all about sitting and doing all the mundane work, so AI is actually a blessing, which has helped a lot of HR people to do something that they really craved for from time. And now I think it's the time that we have the kind of leverage because of AI in a way. And yes, but yeah, there are pros and
Now
cons to
AI is
everything.
approving PTO. It was a generation 2 decades ago when people used to manually fill the leave application and submit it. So you have to think of what to write in the leave application. And that was a written application. And then you have to P-file it, maintain those documentation. Now it's everything at a click of a button.
What would you say to HR teams concerned about job displacement?
AI is not here to take your job. AI is just going to help you with your job. So the faster you start accepting this, the better it would be. And like I quoted that, the real risk is not losing your job to AI, but the real risk is losing your job to someone who is using AI better than you.
Unless you are very bad at work.
Absolutely. So you need to learn, upskill, reskill, and get as fast as possible used to AI. And see how best you can use, what things you can outsource to AI, and be a part of the strategic decisions. And again, work closely with the people and the business.
There are so many certification and certificate courses available either on LinkedIn or say SHRM, which is the, one of the bigger organizations. Say for AI in HR, AI in talent acquisition, AI in onboarding experience. There are so many courses available which will give anybody a bigger view as to what you were doing right now. Okay, instead of doing this, now you can increase your funnel, you can increase your vision. So there are so many courses available nowadays. I think we need to leverage that.
True,
exactly. Just
true.
to give you a little more, you don't have to learn AI all over, right? Yeah. I'll tell you how I learn. My daughter who's 16, she knows more than me. So sometimes I tell her which bot to use when, how to use, what prompts to give, how much detailed prompt to give. So the next generation is more used to AI. So again, you can learn from them also. So if at all you want to learn, there are various ways to learn AI and get used to it.
Very true, very true. It's all your self-perspective as to how you want to grow and learn and grow in your area of focus. What should a young HR pro do today to become AI ready?
I would say learn the basics, not the basics of AI, not the coding part of it, but how has the prompt been fed into AI. Do anything which is related to data analytics, or rather say people analytics. Let me put it that way. So learn an HR pro earlier. Once in a year, traditional approach mein, once in a year we used to have that people analytics ka report generate hota tha. But now people analytics is a very core function of your HR domain. So ये दो चीज भी आपने कर लिया, and be open to learning, because change is the only constant, like they say. So be open to learning every single day, because we as humans, we learn at least one part of it every day. So be open to learning.
So young HR should be completely AI pro, and they should think on the lines further. Like if AI can sit and have a coffee with you, they should figure out that innovation maybe a decade ahead.
What mindset and values are timeless, even as tools change?
I think the mindset, number one is learning, open to learning. You should always be open to learning. Okay. It can be through various channels, certification courses, learning from your peers, like she said, learning from your own, family members, your kids and all. That would be one of the, for me, it would be one of the key area. Number two would be, the ethics, your ethics and your principles. These two things, I think, I'm talking about a very bird's eye view. If anybody has these two things open to learning, and your ethics and principles in place, and that will to continuously do something. In case if you don't know, take a step back. If you still can't figure out, take 2 steps back. But don't stop. If you get a roadblock, don't stop. Any problem comes with a solution. So even AI has a solution. Use AI as your solution. Don't fear AI. Like I always say to everyone, AI is your co-worker. AI is not taking away your job. AI will not take away your role. AI will just enhance your role. How can you use AI better?
Very true.
Acceptance and open mindset. Accept what is coming your way, right? And learning definitely is a part of the story or journey. But again, you have to be open to explore what is coming your way. When I say this, because we have seen like from manual to automation came. Now after automation, AI is coming. So rather than fearing, you don't know what is after AI. So be prepared for the worst and be prepared for the best. Right? And just be open and accept in the acceptance mode, like whatever is coming your way, learn it, accept it, and move ahead. So
I
that's
think
my
that's
view.
how you keep on going in life. Otherwise, then like
Right. If you don't accept, then you don't sustain. Then you will lose your job not because of your
True.
AI, because of your own attitude on your own acceptance to the changing world, changing generations, changing organizations, changing everything is changing today. Technology, even humans have scaled up themselves. So be open to the change.
very rightly said. What does HR look like in 2030 with AI in its place? As you know.
Definitely, there'll be someone called as chief AI enabled officer or something like that, who would work who would have that understanding of AI, and there'll be more roles open. If you can manage the bots. Of course, another thing would be empathy officer, to give you that the human feeling. So by 2030, these roles would be open.
There are a lot of these new roles that are actually opening up, where how to manage AI analyst, data analyst, and things like that. I mean, people say jobs are actually going away, but jobs are also coming for
up,
people.
yeah, exactly.
But again, relevant to the areas that people are looking at, in terms of job.
I feel HR will be more of strategic and business partnering, and HR will stand along with the business to undertake the business decisions with the help of AI and understand how you can scale your headcount or manage the attrition or work on the retention plans, better benefits to come up with those facts. And then again, cost versus employees versus analysis of the company's growth and revenue. Where do you want to stand? Revenue growth versus the headcount growth. So HR will be more strategic business decision maker alongside the business.
True.
And
In
AI will
fact,
definitely help in taking such decisions.
True. A lot of roles have evolved today. We say HRBP. Today, they are like considered as partners for the business, where they are actually monitoring the business in total, in terms of how this function is and how the business is going and what is the requirement in terms of, because everything is end of it how you are managing the people and how they are being effective. If not effective, what is the reason, how to make them effective, and
Correct.
everything is
Correct.
around it.
Correct. With the help of AI, just echoing the feeling, humongous data is available with us now. So with the permutation combination of the data, when we deep dive, so now HR is getting, into a strategic seat, shoulder to shoulder with the business, that hey, this is the last 5 years, this is the trend. Your employees, have resigned. I'm just quoting an example. The number of resignations have gone up the moment the appraisal ratings were disclosed, or for example, the moment the quarterly variable was announced, X number of percentage, we saw a hike into the say resignations and all. So lots and lots of data over the years is available now, and that's what puts HR into a strategic seat now.
True, very true.
And also, there could be a possibility that I was looking at something today only, that how we can call Alexa to give a command like, Alexa, play this. Over a period of time, they will say like a chat bot for HR to do that. Okay, go ahead and give me the bona fide letter, or go ahead and give me this something, whatever I want. So very soon that may come up.
How can younger HR professionals stay relevant? What are the skills should they start building? I think you have already said.
Yeah,
So a lot of these, skills in terms of learning and of all the
Correct,
AI
correct.
tools and with so many courses that are there, I think they have to learn.
People analytics and all, yeah. And at the same time, do not one more thing for the young HR professionals: do not miss out on continuing with your human essence, because a decade from now, human will be very important, and the human feeling will have more important roles to play, especially when it comes to the HR as a domain, entire domain.
True. Would you like to add something, Neha?
Just to add further, like people don't know today who's their neighbor, and then they meet in some get together and then say, "Oh, you are my next door," or same building.
True.
So for young HR, I would say that, see, being in HR, at one point of time when I was working for a 500 order company, everybody would know that, okay, this is the HR and HR also used to know everybody by name. So what may be personal touch, but that HR personal touch only you can give. So that you should not lose that part. That, okay, calling somebody or knowing the person by the name and having that essence.
So just to give you, just to give a broader answer to this, the young, generation now, if they are walking into an HR domain, or for that matter, they're walking into any domain, do not, miss out on that human connection, the human networking part, because end of the day, anyone and everyone would love to work next to an HR rather than working next to a bot. Of course, bot would there be as a co-worker for sure, but then that human connection is needed, that human network is needed. So right, like she said, the way you should be knowing who your neighbor is, and you should have that human network. That would definitely help them.
It's just that I think the hybrid work mode has brought in that distance, because of which a lot of things are a little bit haywire, and that's where the technology has come in to, help a lot of these functions. So yeah, so let's see how things goes ahead. So how can we ensure AI stays human-centric? And that's my last question to you.
AI human-centric, that's a tricky one. But again, for AI to stay human-centric, it will have to be a lot of personal data points. Like if you are replying to somebody, it has to have a personal touch. Like I said, dear so-and-so, dear, it cannot be XYZ or a generic dear employee. It has to have a dear Manthan or dear Neha to address. Then only there will be some human touch which AI can and definitely leverage on.
I think the only demarcation that we can do, because end of the day, we as people, we are putting in the prompt to AI. So till the time we do not, we refrain from putting that emotional intelligence, that human touch inside AI, I think that, that demarcation line will always be there, and humans will always have an upper edge. The moment you start putting in feelings to them, the moment you start, telling an AI, putting a prompt that, for example, if a person, suddenly stops smiling, that means there's something going on in his mind, and you start asking, hey, are you okay? So if you start giving all these prompts to AI, humans will lose their touch. So I think we'll have to put a clear line of demarcation that, okay, I'm not, feeding that AI with the emotional intelligence. I'm just keeping it restricted to data insights, data analytics, and all that stuff.
But what will happen if you feed in that data of human insights in the bot?
Yeah. So there's a very very nice movie by Will Smith called as I, Robot, which was, I believe, I'm not sure about the year, it's 2008 or 2010.
Yes.
So the context of that movie is, the world is being ruled by AI and humans are slave to AI. And the biggest reason why humans are slave to AI is because robots have developed that emotional intelligence. They understand when a person can lie, and they are catching you upfront. I'm just giving an example of lie. I don't want people to lie, of course, but robots have evolved in such a way that they have that emotional intelligence, and they are also lying to catch the to make use of the humans. So that's how I developed that strategy. That I said, for me, if I had that authority to put that demarcation line, I would definitely not give them emotional intelligence, because that is something which is unique with humans. The judgmental part, everything wraps up around the emotional intelligence, your judgment making decisions. Of course, AI is helping me do the performance reviews right now, but AI is only giving me data. The end of the outcome is do I have to give a 5 on 5 rating to this particular guy, or a 4.5 rating based on my emotional intelligence of that person, based on my judgment of that person, lies with me. And I would love to have that power rather than giving my neck to the AI. I said, hey, take a size, how much it fits, and slowly, gradually, you can tighten the grip. I wouldn't want to do that.
Definitely makes sense. Let's hope things move in the right direction and we are able to direct it and program it according to as per, what is best required as per the situation. Thank you, Manthan. Thank you, Neha. It was pleasure talking to both of you, and it was super engaging. And I got a lot of insights about AI in HR. Thank you, and looking forward to further conversations in future too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.